Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, I do want to make an announcement. For the first time, I'm going to have a Batana oil sale. So, this is going to be both the jar or the liquid 8 ounce and 4 ounce bottle. So, that will start tomorrow through Friday, and it will be 30% off. So you can get the 4 ounce, 8 ounce jar or the 8 ounce and 4 ounce bottle. So I will have that posted later on today. So, everybody, we're going to talk about, you know, um, the job market is still poor. There are millions. I mean, the number is growing every single day of the unemployed in this country. And Donald Trump has absolutely no interest in the job market. His mind is on the war. And he doesn't even talk about the job market like a president should. If your people are unemployed in big numbers, that's a problem. And you no longer, the last time he spoke about it, he tried to put it on Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not the president. Donald Trump, you are the president. So whatever happens from this point on is your fault. And the jobless rate is higher under Donald Trump than it was under Joe Biden. He won't even discuss this. He won't talk about, since we've been in 2026, Donald Trump don't even open his mouth to mention the job market out here at all. He knows how bad it is. That's why he won't talk about it. But the bottom line, do you know college students that are about to graduate next month are being told not to expect to get a job? This is what they're telling these students after going through 4 years or possibly more, especially if they went to medical school or law school. They're telling them not to expect to get a job. That's how bad the job market is right now. That is absolutely insane. You know how much debt they're in, and they won't be able to get a job anytime soon? I think that is absolutely ridiculous. And I would not be surprised, y'all, in the next year or so, the enrollment is going to be almost dead in this country. Nobody is going to accept being in all this debt, and they cannot land employment because the job market is that bad. In fact, there's more people losing jobs than getting hired. And, so you're just going to hear more people in 2026 tell you they have put in hundreds of applications and cannot get hired. Even for jobs they're overqualified for, they can't get a job nowhere, nowhere. And it continuously get worse. But see, in these final days, you're not going to need a lot of people to be employed because America's on its way out. And a lot of people see this. In fact, if you go out on TikTok, and I might do this one, if you say America is collapsing, it's like a flood of videos coming up. Since this war, I think this war has really changed the tone for many people. People that used to one time sound hopeful about this country and turning things around now don't see that anymore. And we definitely, I don't see that in Donald Trump. I don't believe Donald Trump has the potential or the know how to turn this place around. He can't do it, y'all. He's not capable of doing it. That's why he is focused on the war and not, on these high gas prices. He really don't care. He feels like that's just something you need to do. Just deal with these high gas prices out here. But he's not talking about, oh, I'm going to lower the prices or I'm going to do this. I mean, the groceries are going up. Just everything in general is going to have that domino effect. And anticipate the shelves being empty. They said hardly no ships are coming over here from China now. Hardly no ships are coming. And we know what that means. That means empty shelves are coming probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. You're going to start seeing the empty shelves again. And when fuel prices go up, you're going to see less flights in the country. It's already happening. You know, if there's not enough jet fuel, they're going to cancel all of these flights. So I have a feeling we're going to be in for something this coming summer. I really do. I think that people are not, you can say prepare for this, prepare for that. There's only so much preparing you can do as a person. You can try to do things, but if you're already not working with much, I don't know how you're going to do it. And with unemployment being high, if people can't find work, how are they going to pay rent? How are they going to pay their bills or a car note or insurance? They won't be able to do it. You're going to have a lot of people falling by the wayside as these gas prices go up. They're just going to park their car and not use it. They are. What other choice are they going to have if they can't afford the gas? And that's gonna happen. You're gonna see a lot of people parking that car, or if you're a two-car family, you're gonna go down to one car. Seriously, especially if you got to save the best that you can on fuel. A lot of people with two cars are gonna go back to just driving one. You're not gonna have a choice. And then you got to think about I was looking online and they were saying some of these summer camps that are normally open every single summer may not be open this year because of all the inflation and everything. Because they usually take those children on field trips and everything. And with the high fuel costs, they may not be able to do all those activities again. So let's be clear. Even if this war ends right now, because I think we're in what, week 5 of it? Even if it ends right now, y'all, America is never going to be the same. It's never gonna be the same here. And the fuel prices are not gonna go down. I mean, even if they announce the war is over tomorrow, the fuel prices are not gonna go down. They're not gonna go down. And this place, it has fallen so much in just a short period of time. It's not coming back, y'all. What people knew as normal, that normal is not coming back. It isn't. I think the damage is done. It is now beyond repair at this point. And Donald Trump can't do anything to fix what he broke. He can't fix this. And we already know America is insolvent. That does not, even stopping the war is not going to fix all the debt that this country is in. The country don't have enough money to pay off its debt. So essentially America's bankrupt. And ending the war is not going to fix that problem. It's not going to fix the job market. It's not going to fix the food prices. It's not going to fix anything at this point. So, y'all, let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Yeah. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. But you know what gets me is the amount of white people that can't get jobs, y'all. In my lifetime, I have never seen that. Even during a recession, they'll keep each other working, but they'll let our people go. And then when the recession seems like it's about to end, that's when they'll start rehiring our people. That's usually how they do it. They'll keep each other going. They don't care about us. They don't care if any of us are struggling or unemployed. And that's the way it's been the entire time through every single recession. They'll make sure they are working, but screw everybody else. But this time around, y'all, the game has changed. It has changed because many of them, and I never thought I would see a day where a white person couldn't get a job in America. But these are the times we're in. These folks can't get jobs. It don't matter whether they're young or a more experienced older worker. It don't matter. These white folks cannot get jobs. They can't get jobs. They can't, many of them will tell you they can't even get an interview. I never thought I would see this day come, but it is here. It's here. Thank you for the ones, everybody.
Looking for a job is one of the worst things ever. Because what do you mean I can't get a job at Walgreens? I'm sitting here. I'll be scrolling through. I'll be doing like 20 applications at a time. Sometimes depending on how many things are open. And you know what? None of them get back to me. And if they do, they're like,
"We're sorry, but we already found someone."
I know that you found someone because I replied to you like 3 weeks ago and you didn't give me an answer. You didn't call me back. You didn't do nothing. And when I do call someone about a job, they act like it's the most annoying thing in the world. Hey, I was letting you know that I applied like a week ago and.
Yeah, thanks. We'll look at your application again.
And then you never hear back from them because they don't care and they don't want you. I just want money, man. I need to pay rent and stuff. And I've been a useless bum for the last few months. So I need to do something. And I can't because nobody will hire me. And I have experience. It's not like I don't have experience. I've worked at 3 different places. Not that I have a ton of experience, but I have enough to where I could build my resume to a decent point so that, I kind of have something in a little bit of everything. The only thing I haven't worked is fast food. Or the worst part is you actually get an interview after forever. And then you sit down and after the interview, they're like,
"Yeah, we'll give you a call back if we're interested."
And they are not calling your ass back because they are not going to hire you. Oh, did you apply here? Did you apply there?
Yes, I applied everywhere.
It's really nice to wake up in the mornings, look at my email, and then I'll just scroll and I'll see.
Fuck you.
I just got laid off. I just got laid off. I thought 2026 was going to be my year. Now I'm unemployed. Oh my God. Like, is this a prank? Am I missing something? Like, what? I don't even know how I feel. Anger, I'm sad, I'm scared. This job, it fell into my lap when I was desperate, when I really needed it. So I gave it my all, gave it all my energy. I spent so much time learning and perfecting the craft so that I could be good at what I do.
I just wanted to address what you wrote, Cassandra Walker, 8902. You said you live in Las Vegas and Hispanics can find work. That's because Hispanics will work for $2 an hour. They don't care. They will cheapen their experience and self-worth. They don't care. I'm not surprised about that. If there's a job for $50,000 a year, a Hispanic will go up in there and tell them they'll do it for 30. I've seen and heard about things like that. They will do that. And who's not going to hire you if you're willing to work for less? That's the only reason why they're being grabbed up. They're idiots. They will work for $1 an hour. That's why, yeah, they're the only ones getting hired because they will cheapen their self-worth and don't care. Yeah, they'll I have seen that. where a job, let's say, is 45 a year. They'll go up in there and tell them, oh, if you hire me, I'll work for 35 a year. So of course they're going to hire them. They don't have to pay as much for the job. They're going to get the same job for $10,000 less. That's the only reason why they get the job. It's not because they're better workers. It's because they will cheapen their self-worth to get a job. And us, we've been up in here for way too long. We ain't having it. You gonna pay us what we're worth. That's how we see it. You gonna pay. But that's how they are. All right, let's get back to this.
But while giving it everything, I lost myself. Like, I became a robot. Like, I would just show up. I would dread every single day. Mondays, my worst enemy. I fucking dreaded that day. Pretending I was okay, but I would really just go on break quickly and go cry in the bathroom. And yes, I told my managers. They were very aware of how I was feeling. They saw my downfall compared to when I first started to now. Like, I was miserable at that job, but at the end of the day, the bills still gotta get paid. Life goes on. I don't know if it's like a trauma bond or something, but it's scary. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? I'm like speechless. Like, I can't even believe that this is happening right now. I have no job. I have no source of income. I'm fucked. What is actually happening? I know that everything happens for a reason. I'm trying to stay positive here. You're telling me this is what was meant to happen. This is what was meant to happen. 2026, the year that Aaliyah is ready to go all in, no excuses, no fuckery, and I lose my job. It's like a weird, like, roller coaster of emotions because I hated that routine that I was just stuck in where I did nothing but live for that job. I woke up last minute, did nothing with my mornings 80% of the time, would skip breakfast because of how late I woke up, would show up at the office and be miserable from 9 to 5, and then come home, eat supper, shower, sleep, repeat. Like, I have no life. All of 2025, I've spent it isolating myself. I haven't been spending time with my friends. I haven't been seeing family. I haven't been doing anything for myself. I don't have any hobbies. Other than creating content, what have I been doing? Nothing. I've been living for this job that doesn't give a fuck about me. And they just dump me like that. Just like that. Cheers to being unemployed. Damn.
This might be the fastest job shift we've ever seen, and it's already happening. AI is starting to replace real jobs from cashiers to office work because it's cheaper, faster, and doesn't need breaks. And the scary part is, this is just the beginning. So the real question is, who's actually safe?
After applying for over 324 jobs, getting 11 interviews and 0 job acceptance letters back, I'm convinced I'm going to be homeless in a year. And the worst part is I am over $120,000 in debt because society says you're supposed to get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Well, I got both, and I have fucking nothing. Do you know how embarrassing it is to go back to the same job you used to work at in high school 6 years later in life? It's embarrassing. The same manager, the same 40 and 50-year-olds that used to work there are still there, and now I'm fucking going back. Please tell me, what are you doing to make money in this economy? What side hustles, what jobs are you applying for? What are you doing to scrape by? Because the only reason I'm able to even pay my rent each month is because of the ClaimWise app. Your boy needs some help.
The job market in 2026 is complete shit. I know of so many people out here that are trying to find work, including myself, and no one will hire us. AI is slowly but surely going to take over, and within the next couple of years, they're most likely going to 100% replace all of us. And it's like a lot of us kind of hit this point of not really seeing the point because we know if we work a job, we're just going to be trapped in this endless cycle of pain and misery.
Okay. So I'm glad she brought this up. Another reason why a lot of people are not getting jobs, y'all, because HR is now letting AI choose through all of the resumes and applications. It's not a human being doing it anymore. Now, when you put an application in, it goes through the AI. And a lot of applicants get kicked out So it's not a person choosing anymore. So you got to be able to write your resume and fill out those applications in a way where the AI will recognize it. If not, you're never going to get chosen for a job. They don't have people reviewing like they used to. They now heavily rely on AI. I just wanted to tell you. Let's go on.
And poverty, a lot of us have kind of just gotten to a point where we're saying screw it, doing our own thing, trying to figure out other ways to make money, other ways to make income, hanging by a thread, and just trusting that the universe is somehow going to guide us through all of this. Because after you spend a majority of your time on Indeed, putting in job applications, going through all these interview processes, and you never hear back from anybody, it just kind of makes you lose hope. And after you go through all these interviews and they offer you like $14 an hour starting out, knowing it doesn't match the astronomically high cost of living, it genuinely makes you question, what is the point?
Hiring rate is the worst since the COVID pandemic. February 2026 had the worst hiring rate since the COVID pandemic. February 2026. March 2026 will be worse. Every month will be worse. We are in a stagnant job market. People are not hiring. They are not creating jobs, and we have more people unemployed than jobs available. Warning, warning, warning. We are in an economic crisis. Our economy is collapsing every single day. If you found this post sad but informative, please like, comment, follow, and share for more economic news.
I think I'm about to get laid off.
All right, I have something to say just because I've been watching videos of people literally getting laid off by email, getting laid off basically also in the same way that I did, where they're just like, yeah, you've done really great work, but this is a 100% financial decision. We don't want to pay you anymore. And if I've learned anything over the last 6 months of being unemployed, which is the longest I've been unemployed in my life, when I was at a month, that was also the longest I've been unemployed in my life. And the thing that I'm coming around to now, after all this time, is that this is not the economy. This is not the job market that it was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. 6 months ago. It's something completely different. And for someone that spent months and months applying to hundreds of jobs, and not just like mass applying, like carefully, meticulously applying to every single job that I was qualified for, which is a lot. I am qualified to do a lot. By the way, hire me. Or don't. That's what everyone else does, is just not. But that taught me that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm stressing myself out for literally no reason. I could have applied to 5 jobs a day, and I'd probably still be sitting here right now and could have been enjoying my life and finding other hobbies and doing other things the rest of the time. I did a little bit of that, but I have a family. I am singularly focused on making a living and trying to do other streams of income and trying to pivot. And I think I just need to put more time into the pivot and the enjoying.
Y'all, literally, this was our people back in the day. I remember back in the 80s and 90s, when our people would be unemployed, a lot of the women would sell Avon and just have little side gigs, or Mary Kay. It was a lot. It was a lot of sisters around me that sold Mary Kay. They sold Avon, and all kinds of things just to have that little side money during the times they were unemployed. Y'all remember that? They would hand you the Avon book or Mary Kay, and you would go through, and a lot of times I would buy it because I knew the sister would be struggling and I just wanted to help a little bit, even if it was a little. So even though sometimes I didn't even need the Avon or the Mary Kay, I would buy it anyway, just to, because I knew this was a sister, sometimes without a job, and that was all they were doing at the time. Now listen to this woman. Oh, I guess I can do this and do that. I never heard them talk like that before. You know why? Because people like her would always be gainfully employed. They could get a job within a few days after getting fired or let go or laid off. But as you can see, it's not like that anymore. Like I remember women like her, you would never hear them struggling to get a job ever. Never. But look at how they sound now. They sound just like our people back in the 80s and 90s when they would get let go, but they still had that little side gig going, you know? And that's how she sounds now. Have the tables have turned. They have definitely turned.
My life part at this point, because even companies that are hiring humans back are doing it for way less money. And I don't know if anybody else has been in the world right now, but everything is more expensive. So how anybody thinks this infrastructure is sustainable is completely out of touch, and, obviously doesn't need to worry about it because they're filthy rich. So let's just let the cards fall where they may and do what we can.
Honestly, at this point, applying for the job is the same lottery system as posting a piece of content and just trying to sell something. Like, I'm not kidding. I know someone who has put in 750 applications and is still trying to land a job. I know somebody like a year and a half ago who finally landed a job after they put in like 650 applications. It was just like the lottery system. She was like, I'm just hoping to get past interview 1, 2, 3, and 4 and see if I'm, qualified enough to get a job. I'm like, 750 pieces of content. And if 100 of them actually convert to sell your product, you might make what you made at your job. And you could do both. You can apply for the jobs and post the content. Like, you might as well, this point, some of you guys have been out of work for 6 months. You might as well start seeing if you need to start pursuing those passions, selling some digital products, communities on school or something. You know what I'm saying? It's the same lottery system.
Why is it so hard to find a job in 2026? I don't care if you just graduated college. I don't care if you just graduated high school or you're in high school. But they make it so difficult. You got to go through 2-3 interviews.
Hey guys, happy Sunday from your favorite unemployed bestie. I never thought at 30 years old I'd be saying that. I've always had a job, but listen, it's 2026. I have no idea where my life is headed. I'm trusting God's plan that we're making big moves. So I just figured I'd make this, and hopefully the right people will find it, and let this be something we can use to encourage people and encourage others in the comment section of like, what, I'm going through this too, or maybe like this can be something that we can network. And I'm not always going to like proclaim this over myself that I'm unemployed, but it's Easter Sunday. I have a lot of freedom right now. I don't know what my next move is. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with my life, but it's just, life is funny in the way that it causes you to reflect, and I'm not where I wanted to be in terms of like career, relationships, finances, all those things, but I know that I'm not the only person feeling like this. So I don't really use TikTok. I feel like my favorite app is Pinterest because I don't have to be social, but just using this, and hopefully the right people find me, and maybe I'll post about other things. All right, bye.
I get an email back today to be like, sorry, you're not qualified enough for this role. I'm actually overqualified for this role. Everything you're asking in this role, I have done plus tenfold. and you're saying that I'm underqualified. I don't know what to do. Like, society is fucked. No matter what I apply for, I can't get a role. I can't get an interview. If I do get an interview, it's great. And they interview me to say, or they email me to say that they enjoyed having me as an interview. You were outstanding and all this stuff, but we're going to go internal, which is great. Fantastic. Go internal. But then there's no feedback. And even on the other interviews that I've had that I genuinely thought I did, and I was good, did it all right, did good. Crystal can't English today. And there's no feedback. I don't know what to do anymore. Like, no matter how hard I try, I am now going to end up like my mother of being overqualified and not having a job. And I don't want to do that life. I don't want to have that life. I don't want to be a house mom or a housewife. I've always call it the eldest daughter in me that I am a strong and independent woman that, yeah, I don't know. I'm really at my wit's end when it comes to applying. And the only reason I'm applying for half of these roles, despite the fact that I am overqualified, is so I can at least get my government payment to live. And even still, it's not that much of a livable wage, considering how much debt I am, and unfortunately in, and I am trying to pay back my debt, and I just physically can't, because I don't earn enough. And come tax time, I'll still probably get taxed a shit ton and have to pay tax. Yeah. Anyone want to help a girl out?
This is the worst time to be unemployed too, like, girl. And now I'm just thinking about the money that I lost, the income that I lost. I'm broke as fuck. The rent's too. Like, I'm like losing my mind now. 2 days I've been like chill, like whatever, like it is what it is. And now it's like, oh. I'm so screwed, y'all. I literally am.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but if you're graduating college in 2026, there will be no job waiting for you. I'm sorry, but it's just the sad truth.
In 2026, 75% of all resumes and job applications are reviewed and rejected automatically by AI software, meaning a human never sees the work you put in, how hard you studied, where you've traveled, who you've lived with, etc. All your experience is reviewed by a software that has no conscience, and they wonder why people think college is a joke. We paid hundreds of thousands of dollars just for our entire lives to be summed up and rejected by a computer program.
Oh, the irony. See, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to reflect back to all the things they did to us to keep us unemployed. If they saw a name and it looked too ethnic, they would throw it in the trash. And we saw they did, I think, a 60-minute or 20/20 on it. And they literally showed these people if they looked at a name and it looked too ethnic, they would take it and throw it in the trash. They did that to us forever, and they still do it to this very day. All right. Like I said, during times of recession, they'll let us go and keep their people working through the recession. All right. Number two, remember, they practice racism all throughout this job market. Back in the day, I remember my mother kept the newspaper from when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. And I looked at the classifieds and it had right in there, black only, black, no need to apply, white only, white only. Yeah, that was all in there. America don't remember her ugly history and how they used to do us. Or if they interview you by phone and you sound just a tad bit too melanated, oh no, you don't make no more interviews, especially if they can pick up on it. Oh, you won't. You might get that first interview, but you're not going to get the next one, even if you're qualified. And one of my friends, she worked in HR, and she was telling me two people interviewed for this job. One was a brother, and he was very qualified. He had everything it took to get that job. And one was a white woman who was less qualified. And she thought they would give it to the brother. They gave it to the white woman. But he had a more suitable background for that job. See, they don't think about all that kind of stuff they did to us. So now that it's now happening to them, boy, they're practically crying. But we had to deal with this forever. The discrimination never stopped. Even today, it never stopped. But I think many of them are in disbelief because they never had to deal with this ever, ever. I used to work with some of them that would tell me, I have never been unemployed ever. And they're not lying to you. They're not lying to you. They have it. They don't know what it's like to be unemployed because they never experienced it. You know? But many of us can't say the same. Many of us can't. Because when it comes down to layoff, they see us as expendable. Back in the 90s, I worked at a company called FMC. And FMC had a layoff, y'all. And everybody that got laid off was Black. So what each department did, if they had like one Black person in the department, they would let them go. And they did this, and not one white person, not one, got unemployed. Well, people sued. And what they did was they gave a severance package to everybody. And what it was 1 year's salary plus severance pay. And I got it too. Although, I wasn't there as long as many of the others, but that's what they gave each one because they know they use discrimination practices to do their layoff. And, companies have done that forever. But everybody started talking to each other, and that's how they realized the only ones that got laid off were just the melanated employees. Nobody else got laid off. But they won. They won the court case, and all of us got a year's salary. They had to pay it. So, y'all, they don't realize this had to happen to them. This is part of judgment that we're looking at. Definitely. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. I deeply appreciate it. And we'll do this again. Probably I might not come back until about after 3. But I will see you on my next live. Shalom, family.